Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at a beer from a brewery which you may not have heard of, which I haven't actually thought of much in the last several years, but their beers suddenly appeared in the store, like 12 of them, and it was quite a surprise. And that brewery is Doppo Beer in Okayama, which is located in the central part of Japan. Between Osaka and Hiroshima. And it is, the main company is宮下Sake Brewery Company Limited, and they have been producing sake for a long time, since 1915, so over 100 years. And they started producing beer in 1995, and they claim that they are one of the what do they call it? The pioneer of craft Japanese microbrewery. On their website, they claim that they're the 9th micro to open in Japan. That's possible. I really don't know exactly, but around 1994, the tax laws changed, and a lot of people started deciding to open microbreweries at that time. It was called the first wave of Japanese micros. And so in 1995, they opened a brewery in Korakuen, and for naming their brewery, the beer brewery, they've been a sake brewery, of course. For naming the beer brewery, they put out a call for names, and they got 3,000 suggestions, and they chose the name Doppo, and Doppo is these two characters here, and this is the character that's used in the name of the country Germany, Doitsu, and the together they can mean independence, Dokuritsu, Doppo Dokuritsu, and so one of the things was that they were trying to put out German-style beers, and so the Do became an important part of their name, and so 3,000 choices, and they chose that one, and their goal was to brew traditional German-type beers, German-style beers, and if you've been drinking craft beer in Japan for a while, you're probably aware that many of the early craft breweries decided to do German style. So all of them made a Pils, an Alt, maybe a Weizen, something like that. So later craft brewers didn't really stick to that line so much, but early ones did. And in fact, beer was started in Japan, by German breweries. Spring Valley in Yokohama and Sapporo in Hokkaido. So a lot of people, even to this day, still associate beer with Germany. So, but Doppo has been around for a while, and I haven't had any of them for quite a while, so I thought I would give them a go. And we're going to start with several beers. I've got, I think, 10, so I will have a playlist of Doppo beers, so give them a look. And here is another one from Doppo Beer Brewery in Okayama, and it's kind of it's got an unusual name here. This one, on Rate Beer, they call it Doppo White Beer for Oyster, and on Untapped, it has the Japanese name romanized, which is Kaki ni Ao Shiru Biru. And basically what that means is it's a white beer that goes well with oysters, as it says here, white beer for oyster. So, and it does not contain oysters. It contains barley malt from Germany, wheat malt also from Germany, rice from Japan, and hops, and that is it. So it's classified as a Weiss beer or Hefeweizen on Rate Beer, and a wit beer on Untapped. Similar, but we'll see. Rate Beer has 2 ratings only, and average is 2.8, not so high. And the last rating was quite a while ago. So Untapped, there are 106 ratings, and the average is much higher, 3.55. 400 yen. This cost me about a little over $3 now with the current exchange rate. The yen is kind of tanking these days. So 330 milliliters in this bottle, 5% alcohol. No idea about the bittering units in it. Okay, so again, this brewery specializes in German-style beers, and we'll see how this one is. Okay, just from the initial look, I'm kind of guessing it is a wit beer. Okay, so very pale pastel sort of yellow. Nice fluffy, almost 2 fingers of foam. Nothing really grabbing the glass, but pleasant enough. Okay. I'm saying, yeah, more of a Weiss beer probably, a filtered Weiss beer than a wit. Untapped can be unreliable in many ways. Beer raters on Rate Beer tend to be a little bit more careful about things and maybe a little bit more experienced with what they're consuming. If you're on Untapped, I'm sorry. I am too, but in any case, Untapped is just like 10, an order of 100 or 1,000 times bigger than Rate Beer. Okay, so it's got very light wheat esters, something stinky, kind of hop I wouldn't expect in this, but still it's not unpleasant. Thin, very mild sort of wheat character, not unpleasant though. This is not exceptional, but it's very drinkable. Yeah, mild bitterness and mid-palate. It kind of sort of checks the boxes, but doesn't have a ton of character. It doesn't really make you say, wow, this is a great beer and I want to have some more of it. But it's not unpleasant, definitely. So this brewery does do German styles fairly well. And again, this is called Doppo White Beer for Oyster, or Kaki ni ao shiro biru, and that would basically be translated as a white beer that matches the pairs well with oysters. So give it a try, whether you have oysters or not. And I don't have any with me at this moment, but try it out and see what you think. Okay. That's it for today. Stay healthy, be well, bye-bye.